The living room, where the family meets to discuss issues, any issue which may be bothering one of the family members. That's what we do each and every Tuesday on WACK 90.1 FM with Ricardo Mitchell and DJ Aaron868. We have casual conversations on serious topics, from sports to culture, mental health to economics, relationships to life lessons. Join us each and every Tuesday on WACK 90.1 FM. The living room, casual conversations on serious topics.
It is now 6 p.m. here in Trinidad and Tobago. I don't know what time it is where you are, but I'm glad to know you're locked onto the true nation station WACK 90.1 FM where we are.
Culture crazy. Yeah, there's a little bit of overdo there.
First and foremost, let's kick this off as we always do. Must give thanks and praises to the Almighty for granting us the gift of life and seeing another day. No matter what time of day it is, you must always
give thanks.
Secondly, we must say thank you to those that went before us, and we are not just talking about our ancestors, the original inhabitants of Trinidad and Tobago, because we all know, accept, reiterate, and decide with chest that Columbus lied, but also to our brother in music, Tony Prescott, but the P this week stands for
Potism era.
What?
Potism.
Potism.
Yeah.
P-O-T-I-S-M.
Nah, P-O-T-I-S-M, man.
Not to be confused with patriotism. Favoritism.
Yeah. Potism. Oh, you know what? Sorry. I know people might think I'm alluding to nepotism, which is something that being cast very, very wildly and loosely as an aspersion amongst members of our population. But no. Sorry, I used the wrong word. I meant portability. Yes, not potism, portability. Because I've seen some comments as to the colors and complexities of WASA's offerings over the past few days. I've heard that it goes from being milky white to chocolatey brown. And as a man say, if he wants to have breakfast drinks, he will purchase them. Yeah.
I want to ask the question because I don't think I have been subjected to that. All my water has been coming through my pipes clear. So yeah. I'm not too sure what area of Trinidad that is taking place. But in Golconda,
yeah,
we are still receiving a hefty and sufficient supply of potable drinking water.
Right. And you know what? Yeah. I, in Marbella, have also been receiving a regular and a high quality supply of water. So, you know what? Maybe I'll just retract.
No, but then again, two things can be true at the same time.
Right.
So, our experience is true, whereas the gentleman who would have expressed the dangling below the white line color of water could be true as well, and somebody else could be experiencing a nice white supply as well.
So the interesting thing about it is that we have a variety of experiences even on this little island, this little twin island republic rather.
Oh boy, yes we do.
Yeah, you know, so yeah, let's
be peace for Periencing.
Yeah. You don't deal up with X at all.
We don't deal up with X now.
We don't deal up with X.
No, we don't deal up with X.
You know what, Aaron?
We don't even call the app. We don't even call the app X. It's still Twitter.
It's still Twitter. Yeah. But you know what, Aaron? The P is for Periencing.
It is. If you don't know the voices you are listening to, this is yours truly, Aaron868. I remind you each and every time that culture is my code. And I sit here alongside my bro with no fro, a lot of flow, always on the know, on the go and in the know.
Ricardo Mitchell, the social sage on the global stage.
And this is the living room, where
This is the living room.
we discuss any and everything under the sun through our
And sometimes-
various
Mm-hmm.
through our various and vastly different life experiences.
Experiences. Yeah, agreed, man.
Yeah, I'll come and tie that back there.
Yeah, well played. Because I didn't want to talk about the accusations of Potism.
No,
Right.
you know who didn't well play over the past couple days? West Indies.
Wow.
They didn't well play. They were well played by Nepal. That is where we reach. Like, honestly, I understand that it was a bilateral series where not even a weakened team, some of our more inexperienced players, those they only want to give the game time to.
Let me say developmental.
Right. A more developmental team was sent where they said our bowling has to be the focus. How we still can bowl off Nepal in either game?
Well, on a completely unrelated and not parallel comment, I would like to extend congratulations to all of the National Award winners in our Republic Day celebrations. It was very interesting to see one particular National Award winner.
You cut markers because I was
No,
going to that
you-
after. Because I had questions to ask about that too.
What I see was that this particular gentleman was posing in pictures with several prolific players. Okay? You know that this particular Shakunia Silva winner is on first name basis with the likes of Bravo, Puran, and Pahad.
I didn't want to know that.
He them fellas is besties now.
Besties
I don't
No, you see the thing is we use terms too loosely in our vocabulary now.
Right.
We need to fix our vernacular.
Sorry,
we tossed
they're not besties. They're not besties.
We toss the term friend around too loosely. We toss the term family around too loosely. We
always
toss
one
the
family.
Thank you, Lord Nelson.
That literally in the starting of the program.
I know. Thank you, Lord Nelson. We also toss the terms of favoritism and nepotism around too loosely in this country. Because we all have to accept that in Trinidad and Tobago, we are all separated by 2 degrees.
2 at most.
And let me give you an example of how we separated by 2 degrees.
I like the passion. You give them. You give an example here.
Ricardo, who's your godmother?
Lisa. Well,
Lisa's my
adopted
aunt.
godmother.
Right. Well, Lisa's my aunt. Again,
Yeah.
that was long before Ricardo and I even knew each other existed.
People don't know.
2 degrees of separation.
That is wild. You all are listening to the living room as it exists because this is what our families intersected 30 or more years ago.
Probably 40 something. Yeah.
And I am 40 something.
Exactly.
You know what? You're right.
It
You're right,
happened
because
before
I don't know if there was a familial intersection before we you know
Thank
what,
you.
You're right. 2 degrees. Come on. What are you telling me?
And then
Can't
then
fall
let
up on poppycock.
let me go a step further. The other day I received a voice note from a guy that I know telling me he met my uncle in Toronto.
Well, your
I
uncle is
didn't-
in Toronto.
I now go and ask the question. I didn't even know I had an uncle in Toronto.
Yeah.
So now I had asked the question, who's my uncle in Toronto?
Uncle in Toronto, if you're listening, you catch us
Send a
in the
message
comments.
in the shout box, yeah. But
Yeah.
the thing is always somebody knows somebody.
Yeah.
Who knows somebody who might know somebody.
So here the catch now. If I qualified and capable, competent, experienced, or maybe even experimental in what I might be bringing to the table. You telling me that I'm not supposed to be eligible for my trade because of who?
Because you know somebody who knows somebody who in a managerial profession, position. Sorry.
It's not.
And I don't want to be that guy, but if I'm in a managerial position in a company, if Cardo is qualified to do position X, job X, and Cardo submits whatever documentation, a quote, let me say,
Yeah.
and I had 3 other quotes as well, but Cardo's was the most competitive, or according to the procurement laws that exist now, it fit all the necessary criteria. Why I can't use Cardo?
You understand?
Or even better, what if Cardo was doing the job long before I got into the position?
So
Am I
have to
now supposed to say, you know what, Cardo, here we're going on by reaching, or so you know what this means for you? Rescind your work.
I had to
or-
recuse myself from.
Or as
Come on.
Or as we just do in Trinidad, when things change, when we tried to change condiment, everybody had to resign. And you know what is happening when everybody resign? Thing this pause. And you know what's happening when thing pause? People do get paid
People don't get paid.
because we pause. Or they don't get me started on it because it have other things that
It had too much. That's why I didn't want to go with Pot. I'm glad we didn't go with Potism.
Yeah, but you see also the madness that is taking place where certain aspersions are being casted that monies would disperse to certain bursaries. But it's still sitting in a consolidated fund and all these different things. Here now, checks and balances should exist.
But they
So
do.
Yeah, but they don't check them out and balance the thoughts.
Hey, I like what you say there. You're talking like somebody who feels very passionately about what you're talking about.
No, I'm passionate about a lot of things this week. Also, I was passionate about West Indies losing to Nepal. Next week, Trinidad is back in the World Cup qualifiers, where I only recently learned that since Dwight York was appointed the head coach, we have only won 3.
But was it just
13 games?
3-4 and
3, 4, 7. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah, that surprised me.
that being married with the fact that one of the club teams that I support probably only win 5 in the last 32.
Is that Wrexham?
No, Man U.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So at what point are we going to understand that poor performance should be met with consequences? No.
Papa, yo.
No.
All right.
No, I'm not saying that every coach that is poorly performing in a sport should be fired. But we also need to track metrics. Because remember, as I just said, when it comes to procurement law, there are many other factors other than price.
Yeah.
So performance can't be the only metric that we're tracking. But when they don't have the checks and balances, when you're not checking your statements and balancing your thoughts, many things can go wrong.
Yeah.
Like losing to Nepal.
Yeah, I realize. All right, you know what? Aaron, for the sake of your pressure, I believe we should proceed.
And why I keep bringing up that loss to Nepal? How many series has the West Indies won recently?
You asking me about something that I don't have the...
No, but I don't think it's any. The last time we had a favorable result in a series was the Test series drawing Australia a year and a half, probably 2 years ago, when Shamar Joseph came to the fore.
What's going on with these fellas, boy?
What's going on with a lot of people, boy?
Yeah, when I want to congratulate, because I proceeded, I know about you. I want to congratulate the winner of Miss Larry and Rive, Celie Letran. She won last night before at the National Academy for Performing Arts. Yeah, man. Been fantastic show. All right. Seeing these youths dispassionately executing the love for country and community. It was good to witness. It was good to witness. Yeah. What else we could celebrate?
If there's one thing I would say, the culture of Trinidad and Tobago continues to be positively shown.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Despite the mishap that took place at Sapa, Best Village is always a great showcase of our culture. Right? This weekend as well, for the first time I was actually interested. I didn't get to attend because I had another engagement. But there was a boxing show at the National Cycling Center in Couva, the headliner. Yeah. And it was great for me to see that the cycling center was used for another sport. Not like some time ago where we happened to see some machines being wheeled in, or machines being there on the floor. I don't know if you remember that.
Yes. There was an event that had to be postponed or cancelled because of
the nature of the event.
There was an actual athletic competition that had to be postponed because there was an entertainment-oriented event.
Yes.
That was setting up. Yeah. It's terrible stuff.
Right? So what that shows is that our spaces can be used for other sporting events.
They can be multi-functional.
Correct is right. I also saw recently that there's a new craze that has been sweeping the world.
A whole new craze
is sweeping the world, and it has now reached to Trinidad and Tobago.
What craze is that?
Pickleball.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have facilities in Trinidad for pickleball now, so if you are so inclined.
Pick up some pickleball. I know what's going. Pick up some pickleball. Hey, listen, Aaron, if people could find healthy and safe ways to enjoy things, I'm not taking that from anybody.
Pick, that's not my flavor though. Even though I do like pickles on my burgers.
I love pickles,
Also,
my marker of a good cardo economy is whether or not I'm buying pickles.
Serious?
Like when I'm buying pickles, I know that I having. According to the youths still say having.
No, they don't.
Oh, all right.
I don't know what they say, but I know that's not it.
What are the terms for being in a position of fairly stable income generation?
I have no clue.
All right. Well, let me put it this way: when I'm buying pickles, things looking.
You hole in.
A hole in. The nest egg. The nest egg is egging.
The eagle land.
The eagle landing. Right. When I saw the other day what was my mark for things being real bad, and I can't remember what it is, but if it come back, I'll let you know.
Yeah. And also secondary schools football is in full swing.
Full swing, man. I believe Presentation College has been performing admirably.
Yeah. And we'll end at that part. I think Prayers has won 4-4.
Okay, if I'm not mistaken, there was a contest with St. Benedict's recently, of which we might have emerged
victorious 1-0.
Yeah. Right, so interesting thing. Let's find things to praise, Aaron. Things to celebrate.
I must report I went to the harvest. The point up here.
The point up here. Yes.
Yeah.
In Pleasance Park.
Yes. One thing I will admit.
Hold on, dude. That's not. This don't look like the face of a man who has conquered bingo. This look like a bingo. That is a bingo-less face.
I did walk away from the bingo with a couple prizes.
Oh my! You know what, sir? Actively listening. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
But other than that, it was a well put together event. The only sore point for me was how hot the sun was, bro.
Sunday. That was Sunday. If we never had a Sunday before, that was Sunday.
Yeah, that was Sunday. And it was so hot that the beverages weren't even getting time to cool properly.
Mm-hmm.
By the time you take it out of the ice, it was lukewarm.
Right.
But it was a well-attended event. There were great stalls. Some persons were a lot more winning or successful than I was. I saw a gentleman walking out of the hoopla with 3 boxes of drinks. I will be checking him for Christmas. I don't know where he living or who he is, but we know he having a good Christmas.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
The bingo was bingoing.
Bingo been bingoing.
The bingo been bingoing. Right.
Did you win? And did you win any? Did you say you won multiple prizes?
Yeah.
All right. And how did you transport those prizes? By hand.
Yeah.
Right. Were there any carrying receptacles of any sort, Mr. Williams?
No.
Perchance a box? No?
No box.
Actually, no bingo box?
The gifts themselves came in boxes.
Oh, okay.
So they were stackable.
Stackable. Okay.
They were stackable, yeah.
All right. So you didn't get any bingo bags?
You come back with us again.
With what, sir? I'm just inquiring as to the transportability of your winnings.
They were transported by hand.
Okay.
No bags will attain that bingo.
Okay, cool. Just making
I see where
sure because
I see where you're trying, but you're not gonna get.
I'm detail oriented when it comes to storytelling. So I was just curious, to see if what I was imagining was lining up with the actualities. I'm sorry to accuse you of having sported bingo bags yesterday. Apologies. Correction on record. Yeah. So you
make sure and mark that on hands,
you could talk about it. Aaron, I honestly believe that there will be a day where we will both be on the handset, and hopefully it will be in a professional capacity and not one where we defend an accusation. But
I didn't want to be there for either.
You see, so if I was to go for politics, Mr. Williams, and I thought that my chances of serving Trinidad and Tobago would increase with your integrity and your accountability, your imagination, if those offerings were made available to the nation, that we might actually be able to turn this thing around, you wouldn't go?
No.
What? You never consulting the Lord. You just know.
No. Ooh. I don't think that politics. I'm cut out for politics.
Yeah, but what is politics?
I don't think I'm as thickly skinned as I think I am.
Okay.
I might jump out myself and be like, who you feel you talking to?
You know who's me, or?
Again, I always remember when Celebs was open. Right. For those that don't know what Celebs was, before Gulf City Mall expanded and extended, Celebs used to be on the end closer to the villas.
The villas, yeah, upstairs.
Yeah,
what would have been True Value at the time.
Yeah, true. Yeah, boy. Right, close to the 2 arcade then. Anyway.
Yeah.
And the bowling alley for those who remember that far back. Yeah.
But the bowling alley wasn't quite up by Scotia.
Nah, the bowling alley was down where Galactica used to be.
I remember seeing his red tiles, Anyway.
Yeah.
Go ahead, actively listen. Then again, you talking about that iteration of the mall was considerably smaller than what it was now, So it might be closer to our end now, but it would have been central back then.
Before it expanded and extended. So anyhow.
Yeah. Anyhow.
And a gentleman tried to make his way up the steps after they locked off entrance. And the security met him with what we would call in local parlance a bellas.
Right. And not a vestibella. Not a Marabella.
Bellas. Mm-hmm. And the bellas echoed in the car park along with the words, "Who's you?"
Okay. Cool.
Now, I'm not saying that any bellas will pass. but the comment will come out my mouth. Who's you?
Oh, you look perfectly
Be-
capable of verbal bellas, Aaron. Verbal bellas,
Because-
perchance.
Yeah. Because I think what takes place now is that a lot of persons give their mouths, and not just mouths as in mouth. They give them their mouth liberty through their fingers to spew negative commentary on even positive things.
Yes, sir.
So let's say you were in a position where you are in public life, right?
Yeah.
And you solicited me to bring an idea to fruition.
Mm-hmm.
And we had this grand idea that, you know what? We are going to truly look at diversifying our economy. And we decide that we're going into solar paneling.
Yeah.
So that lovely piece of land that's on the wharf that is now being underutilized because it's a white elephant, we are going to put solar panels there. And there's a solar farm that will power the city of San Fernando. Then people will start to turn. So why they didn't turn it into a cultural space? Why they didn't turn it into parking? Why they didn't this? Why they didn't that? And the thing, and the tea. I will get in a comment section probably and be like, why you didn't do it? Why you didn't come up with the idea? Why
That sounds
weren't you?
counterproductive.
But just saying, we are trying to be productive by coming up with an eco-friendly solution for power and powering the city of San Fernando. But not all of a sudden people have issues with it because it's in favoring them. We used to go and fish there.
So what you actually verbalizing right now are not verbalizing. Verbellas is a oratory slap. Anyway, what you verbalizing is the resistance of those with integrity and ambition for country to enter political arenas because of the anticipated need to defend one's good intentions.
Yeah.
That having to spend half of your time explaining to people that what you're trying to do is good that's just another level of the workload that is a deterrent.
Some people are not ready for.
Yeah,
Myself included. Because, and the thing is, if you for years have been involved in private life and private business, the need to explain oneself to the public is not something that you'd be accustomed to.
Right, so it leaves room for both faux as well as, again, too, the defense of an intention is one of the greatest deterrents that somebody could encounter.
Correct is right. And not just the defense of the intention. If you are not accustomed to answering questions that are populous, which is not prepared for advancement, you might jump out yourself without a time in comments.
And you'll end up being a verbal meme.
Or you'll end up being told to stay in your lane. Because we need to accept that once you enter the sphere of public life, your words no longer just represent you. Your words represent the affiliation which you have. So, if I am affiliated to Cardo because Cardo put me in a position of chairman of this or CEO of that, if I jump out myself and say, well, boy, if all I can't fish, that is all your problem. That is not just a reflection of my words. That is now a reflection of Cardo put me in this position. How could you represent him by saying that?
Right. So now we're looking at some of the responsibility again, because that is a responsibility. We've seen fairly recently some reprimand based on politicians' commentary that was not very well received publicly, and then his walking it back with apology. And you're right, when you are in these spaces, you are no longer just representing your own personal thoughts. You're
Correct.
representing the thoughts of not just the individual that you're working with. You're representing quite possibly the national interest. So you don't
Correct
have the
is right.
liberties. You don't have the liberties that you would have had otherwise.
Because for me, one thing I find, and I could be wrong in this discovery, is that once you pick up a position of public office, your social media interactions should decrease.
But what
Now-
if your social media interactions were the thing that got you into the public sphere in the first place?
You need to know when to shut up and stop. Just like how the banks know that when there's a long line, the number of tellers is low. The increased level of public awareness or the increased level of public position should demand less social media interaction. Hire a
Less-
team to have
Okay.
hire a team to do it for you, so that your comments or your posts come from a structured platform. Car, do you think if you in a position of public influence, you had time to be posting? You had time to be on living room?
Hey. Well, I actually think being in the living room is a position of public influencer. But
Well, I
I,
know
but I
that,
think
but-
you're talking public office. I get you.
Yeah.
The thing is, life is about the season. Life is about seasons, rather. Right? This is a space that I'm in, and to be honest with you, I love the communication space. I love the communication space. I don't just like talking, which I'm fairly decent at. I also love listening because I like to learn. I cannot possibly have every experience that exists myself. So I'm very open to
Yeah,
other people's
yeah.
experiences.
Not
My
other people's
appearances.
appearances. Thank you.
Yes, sorry, correct. We don't deal with X. I
Correct.
am very open to learning. from
SOs
other
will be very
people's-
happy to hear that.
Sir. Yeah, I'm very open to learning from other people's experiences.
Oh my gosh.
And you're easy, you know. And it is kind of hard to know that sometimes the thing that you love, you have to put aside for public life, even if it's the thing that you love that got you into public life in the first place. So I could see it. I could see the challenges that would arise in transition.
But here the cat, you're talking about seasons, and we're talking about public life and public positions and positions of power. But also, once you transition into new seasons in your personal life, there are things that you will also need to let go of.
Definitely.
Because you can't be carrying certain habits from before into a new chapter in your life. That's the reality of it. Regardless
does
of
not
what
bode
that
well.
next chapter, whatever that next chapter is, it could be a new job, a new relationship, a promotion, even a demotion. Because I think we always talk about the positive aspect of it. But if even, let's say, you get demoted within your job, you can't go into that lower position with the same habits you had before. You need to learn humility in that scenario now.
So what you're saying is that if you were accustomed to putting on sirens and blowing past traffic with your escort, not being able to do so anymore requires an adjustment?
Yeah, you need to leave home earlier. You had to leave home 5 o'clock in the morning now. Just like
Yeah,
everybody else.
Stop in the line like everybody else.
Nah, so sometimes it might get a little blind. Yeah? It might still get a little blind. Because again, 2 degrees of separation. Somebody might remember, hey, there's the man who helped me get a house. Or there's the man who helped me get a job. Let me serve him.
That starting to sound a little bit like, you know, this is an interesting thing, you know. Quid pro quo, right? The something for something. The idea of reciprocity. Where's the line between reciprocity and a kickback? Where's the line between?
It's a very thin line.
I actually raised a point the other day that there's a difference between favor and privilege. there's a difference between favor and privilege. Right?
No,
Because
no.
yeah. Again,
You know my thing with privilege. I also find that's a word that we flout and float loosely. Because privilege shouldn't be if I work hard, giving somebody else a head start because of my hard work is privilege.
again, this is a conversation that we had before, and we'll probably have it again. I think it is necessary for us to leave people better than we met them, or to even start people better than we started. I think privilege is a necessary thing for advancement.
And that's my thing. So we use it loosely, and we use it for things where we should not be using it at all.
I think what you're talking about is the weaponizing or the demonization of the word,
Correct.
not the thing itself.
And that's the thing. We as a people, we as a populace tend to weaponize words which should not be weaponized.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I
oh
get
gosh, man.
Yeah, I know people who feel guilty because they don't have other people's struggles, and their concerns about of the way that they are perceived because they don't have that struggle. So here the catch, right? I get up every morning, I ask the Lord to bless me, and then when the Lord do something good for me, I'm feeling bad about it. Right? When the Lord create an opportunity, right? So here the catch. How am I to be favored and not become privileged?
But the thing is, your privilege and my privilege is two totally different things.
That's right.
It is situational.
So
We
there's
need to
context.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And we need to accept that if I have worked hard for years, and because of my hard work, I could now say, here what's going on. Cardo, I need somebody to do this. Come and do this for me. My hard work has put me in a position where I could bring someone to do something.
Yeah, give
Or
somebody a
bring
leg up.
Give somebody a leg up, as we would say. Pull somebody up the ladder with me. But again, because over the years, over our history, we have seen persons who have used that to bring persons who are ill-equipped into positions that they cannot do the work. That is where the weaponization comes from.
Well, there's more demonization. But what I want you to consider, in that context, Aaron, is that the problem with that is when you do it with the public purse or with public entities.
And I'm not going to say that. Again, it's situational.
Yeah, because if I build my business
In Cardo and Cardos.
right? Cardo and Cardos, Cardery, right? And I say, hey, listen, I need somebody I could trust to handle my books. Now, Aaron might not be a CPA, but I know Aaron have the experience. And I know that Aaron could get this job done, or get the people who will get this job done. Aaron, I need you to come and do accounts for Cardo and Cardos, Cardery. That is fine. That's my business. Right?
It's real Cardos.
That's real Cardos. That's real Cardos.
But if not, you working in the ministry of Cardo.
If no, however, there's a ministry of Cardos.
Lord
Right.
Father, why just do that? Oh my gosh.
I like how you're thinking, Aaron. I like how you're thinking that the ministry of Cardos, boy.
Oh
And
my
we
gosh.
we get all the Ricardos in the country, and even a Carlos or two because it rhyme. Right? So it's a ministry of Cardos and Carlos. Sis. Right? Anyway, we're gonna figure that out. We have time still.
What?
But if there is the ministry, Trinidad and Tobago's ministry of Cardos, now I cannot take that liberty.
Correct is
Because
right.
I am managing the country's Cardos and Cardery.
And because now, and that's where I alluded to earlier, the procurement process.
Right.
Where
No.
if you don't know the procurement process, it is not just about who is best in price. There are many other factors: who's most competent, and financial position of the person, and blah 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 blah. It has so many things. Me going into OPR business here.
But here the catch, Aaron. What and we're blurring some lines and muddying some water here because I want people to get out of the space that they're comfortable in with the way that they're thinking. If I know, Aaron, I need you to manage financially the Ministry of Cardo and Cardo's, the occasional Cardo's cardery. I need that done. We have a procedure for you to do that properly. Go and register. Go and get yourself in the system so that you become available for the selection process. And then you're selected because I recuse myself from the selection process and allow...
Because I the due process to happen.
And I let the process happen. Is that still nepotism? Sorry,
I don't...
Potism.
Thank you. Yeah, to be correct. And that's the thing. Because we are separated by 2 degrees, Cardo here will go on our bird. I hear it has something coming up there. Said the resume so by so now. And after that, I had nothing to do with the process again. I just knew it had a job opening.
Yeah, but is that appropriate behavior considering your position?
And that's the next part. If I know of a job opening, I know somebody looking for a job.
So I could do it personally, but I can't do it once I've assumed a particular position because of what it could imply, even if it's not what actually happened.
Correct is right. And again, it's the weaponization of it, or the demonization, or the level of vindication that some persons will feel by pointing it out.
You know, I now realize why sometimes people would post. If I post something to my social media and you see it, but the public also saw it, the interested public saw it, well then nobody could see that I line you up.
Well, I was saying it have an example that I want to give, but I can't give because I know I'll get in trouble if I give it.
Ain't nobody ironing no clothes here and
no, right? No. But all I will say is there have been many times where I was able to get DJ jobs because people know me. It's not who I know, it's people know me. And
so repetition and word of mouth.
Yeah. So I got a job the other day because somebody see me playing a 60th birthday party last year.
Right. I was there for that 60th birthday party.
Nah, you wasn't there for that one.
Alright.
No, here the catch in it. Procurement was done properly. Quotes were submitted. I get a job. Is it Potism because I get a job because somebody tell me that this was up for that this opportunity was upcoming? Or is it that because the person was in a position is like, hey, I need to make sure that whoever is coming to do this job is people who I could depend on, and all I doing is getting the suppliers. The suppliers now have to pass through a process totally out of my hands. So I did my part in finding 3 people.
Right.
Or 5 people,
then,
or how much ever people.
And we allow the checks and balances to function.
And then the checks and balances had to function. And that's the thing. We have to remember that we live on an island of 1.4 million people. All of a sudden, everybody in this country is an entrepreneur. Everybody has a business on the side.
Yes. We're trying to diversify the economy, 1. And 2, it's kind of necessary because state
cost of
projects
living. Projects in. And also the cost of living is ridiculously high. People need to remember that one of them carton of evaporated milk was $8 2 months ago, I think it's $10.47 now for one.
I'm just saying that things people... so what you're telling me is I am disqualified from being an entrepreneur because of the people that I know or the people that know me? However, from a business to flourish, people need to know about my business.
And you know it's the sad part too? Cardo is a man, is a well-known gentleman.
Fairly. I don't know how well, but
You are well known.
yeah.
I have entered spheres which neither of us is known in, and people tell me that they know you. But
That's interesting.
one thing I continue to say, Trinidad has 2 degrees of separation. So Cardo might know me and I know John, and John looking for somebody to do video. John asked me in a line by a Friday night because John needed to de-stress and called me to drink a beer. But here we're going now, but we have a project on working and we need a man to do some video for we, boy. Serious, John? I have a brethren who does do that, you know. Well, boy, tell your brethren, send my code for so by so, and I go pass it to who had to vet it. And boom, Cardo gets in.
Yeah.
All because I know Cardo does do X. I link John and Cardo. Cardo submit a code, John forwarded to Jane, and Jane and her department vet the process, and Cardo get the work. We need to remember that is, we always joke about it that most business deals are brokered on the golf course. You feel it only brokered between CEOs?
True.
Come on, man, we need... My partner might as always say, Trinidad is a country that all of a sudden we just develop morals and standards when it's convenient to us.
Yeah, I like that. It's convenient, yeah.
We need to remember that everybody knows somebody doing something.
Everybody, yeah. Know somebody, yeah. Everybody. I just realized, I know why my throat lock up when I tried to do the culture crazy earlier. I still saw from karaoke. Yeah, karaoke finals in the rig, but
I know. Bexa, I tried to make it.
yeah, I mean, then it would have been unfair now, because if it competed and you won, you know what I would have said was there? Potism.
What wasn't Potism was the fact that somebody won prizes all courtesy Lake Asphalt and a recording opportunity with KMP Music Lab.
I hope they know how to sign up for it, because Kenny is a man, he produces quality work, but he demands that quality.
If only he used to give that quality when he tried to sing.
Hey, the man was okay for an encore. What two?
When?
Hey, I still know that.
When he sang WACK them 2 years ago and he was born?
Oh, you know, I kind of wondering if we should still be referring to him by first name, you know, because man, I know him long before. I know him long before that. That was his season. Remember, this man is a national award recipient, you know.
You know, I think he's the first one I know that I could just pick up my phone and just call.
And ask him for a picture with it.
And no, and not just that, the man, if I call him and ask him anything, he will buff me for calling him.
He have anything he does do, he do buff you for?
Yes. No, because even if I don't call him, he'll buff me.
So, Mr. Man, you know, like I waiting to hear from you, but
right. The man. When I call him to congratulate him, he buffed me because you didn't call him.
I know he vexed with my head. He really had my kind of semi-cold shoulder. Anyway, I go do it.
Well, he does have a few cold shoulders. Huh?
Yeah, I have. Listen here, and we have episodes of Living Room where we were advocating for this man to be nominated.
Yeah, boy.
This is I feel
vindicated.
I feel vindicated, yes. I felt vindicated. I felt like
because we weren't just pushing for it this year.
Yeah.
We've been talking about getting this man a national award for at least the last 3 years.
I
feel vindicated.
And not only that too, big man thing for somebody that I see mostly in t-shirts and polo jerseys. He clean up real nice. He clean up real nice.
No, remember, we saw him in a suit in July.
In the right. Yes.
Yeah, we saw him.
But
Yeah,
here
we
the
saw him.
catch. The amount of suits I see him in now is not like one suit and he just keep changing the tie, the shirt and the tie. the man have so he looking fresh.
The man has suits.
Looking fresh, looking fresh. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
well, guys,
I do feel bad. I do feel proud. I feel proud.
So much talk about Potism, we forgot to say that we are getting perilously close to the end of tonight's program. And you gotta remember that Kenny and the Caption will be in Miami for the WACK Fan Club event. Not this weekend, not the following weekend, the weekend for Miami Carnival. Right, so Kenny and Caption, the dynamic duo, we'll call them for that event. They will be across there in Miami. Cardo, you're by yourself next week.
Got you.
Right, I think I have a travel day next week, Tuesday. So we'll I don't know if we will reveal where I am, but I'll try to get an episode this time.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. In terms of next week episode, if I have the living room to myself, I'll bring in one or two guests because I know there are things happening in the middle of October, and I want to bring the guests in one before his event because of how much it meant to me being a part of that process. Not Potism, you know, I'm talking about as an attendee. But I also want to recognize that one of our very own, Sister Megala Simon, she is leaving.
Mrs. Universe?
Mrs. Woman of the Universe.
Oh.
Mrs. Woman of the Universe. So she's leaving shortly to represent Trinidad and Tobago. And I
Correct,
would love
that's
for her
right.
to share, you know, to give us, again, we're looking for the upliftment now.
We need
Looking
it.
for the
We need it.
upliftment. Right, so I think I'll bring them in next week, God willing. Oh, and my church doing a women's conference a little later in October as well. So what I'm saying is that there are things that
It have things.
trying to push the upliftment, man, and the positivity.
And we also need to somewhere in October. I know Israel things to try to fit in. October is also Mental Health Month. And it's also Calypso History Month.
Right. So
there are
I'm
a lot
starting
of
to-
things. Yeah.
I'm starting to suspect that our episodes of The Living Room for the next couple of weeks going to be more along the video magazine format, where we'll be having multiple topics or guests within the episode.
Correct is right.
Yeah.
Right. So we know
Hey.
that
Mm-hmm.
we know Desmond is in the building already because the big band is up next at 7. All right.
But yeah, this is we are about the positive, and we got to build bigger tables. Right. Thanks to that session last week with Krisha was well received, man.
Really?
Yeah. It was well received. Right. So what I'm saying is we trying to get Joash to come in and help me too. Then what I'm saying, we're trying to flesh out the living room. We're trying to turn this thing into, you know, a community thing.
And you know, as we closing off here, you know how we could also stop the Potism? Knowing when it's time to step away.
Speaking of time to step away, this is Ricardo Mitchell, the social sage of the global stage. Thank you for joining us in the living room. Remember, guys, the hourglass is opaque. Let me get this out of the way, right? Because based on what it is you're saying, I might not want to be any part of it. The hourglass is opaque, so whatever you're doing, be good and stay safe. DJ Aaron868 Williams himself, the man, go ahead.
The reason why I was saying that the reason we could stop Potism is by knowing when to step away is because within the living room, we have been advocating for persons to retire in peace. Over the years, we have made that cry. We have clamored for that.
We have clamored. Yes.
Know when it's time to step aside.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Don't be 85 and still now looking for position.
Right.
Know when it's time to say, here, what's going on. Johnny Jr., it's yours.
Mm-hmm. It's Johnny Jr. generation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this was not pointed at anyone. It's just a generalized statement that we all, even Ricardo and I, we also need to know that after some time, the living room is no longer our space. We need to be able to understand that we have to foster a next generation that will come up and take it from the living room and carry it to the gallery or the kitchen. And it wouldn't be Potism, it is proper succession planning. Hey. With that being said, Mr. Desmond up next with the big band. I am yours truly, Aaron868. I remind you each and every time that culture is my code, and I also tell you that love is the currency. So spend some today. Let somebody know that you love that. Keep it locked.